All right, I've got Walking Mountains here in the studio. Peter Suneson is joining us. He always has great stuff to share with us for the kids and for the kids and all of us. Today we're going to talk about another one of the birds of prey, the goshawk.
Exactly. So one of the more spectacular birds that we do have in our area, very seldom seen. They're pretty secretive. Goshawk live in the forest, so it's not going to be a bird that we see soaring, over the Avon Hills or, up and down the valley. This is a bird that primarily lives in the forest, primarily hunts, does all of its kind of activity in the woods.
So down in Edwards, I see hawks a lot, but they're all red tails, it seems like.
Primarily red tails. We do see a lot of osprey over the river, which, they are raptors, so they kind of appear as hawks. But goshawk, if you're really deep in the woods, they prefer large swaths of old growth forest. So if you're deep in the woods and you see a hawk that's not soaring but kind of perched on a tree, looking around, chances are that could be a goshawk.
And what did you call it off camera? You said because they're kind of very nimble and quick and sneaky and powerful.
They're awesome. So I called it, we refer to them as the forest fighter jet. They are incredibly quick, incredibly agile. The Defense Department is actually using goshawk as inspiration for a new series of drones. So they are, looking at the technology or the adaptations that goshawk have and using those to develop new technologies and new drones.
Okay, so we brought some samples, some body parts, so to
exactly.
speak.
So
that's really nifty.
So
right there.
Different parts of the hawk, exactly. So now here we have a talon, distinct to all raptors and significantly different than a robin.
Look at those fingernails.
Look at those talons. Talons, exactly. So that's
talons.
that
look at that foot on that thing.
Designed for picking up a snowshoe hare. Or a bull.
Quick, sink them right in and get out of there.
Exactly. Very similar to the skull. As opposed to a duckbill, which we would describe more as a spoon. The beak on raptors is more like a steak knife. You can cut them with the as opposed to scoop it up. So they are incredible predators, and goshawk actually eat a huge variety of animals. Most raptors primarily prey on small mammals. Goshawk eat other birds. They'll eat reptiles. They'll eat mammals. They'll eat just about anything, and they also will hunt on foot. Which is pretty incredible for a bird.
Walk around on those.
They'll hop around the forest on their feet, looking for food, which is a unique adaptation. Not a lot of birds will do that.
And you told me off camera also that they have a unique mechanism that allows them to retract some wings when they're getting into those tight spaces.
Exactly. So because their primary habitat is forest, and they need to be able to move around quickly, they have a few special adaptations. Their wings will collapse so they can actually bend in to get through really tight forest openings, and they also have a specially adapted tail that they can widen out, and they get extra lift from that. So when they're flying real fast, they spread that out, and it'll immediately pop them straight vertical.
How neat is that?
They are birds that are designed for their habitat. They are pretty incredible, and honestly, I have never seen one in the wild, and I would love to.
I would too. Now that I have a better idea of kind of what they look like. And how big are they when it comes down to it, when their wings are all tucked in?
So it's going to be a good-sized bird,
okay.
Similar to a red-tailed hawk,
okay.
About that size. So there's a good picture. And what we're looking for is that banding on the chest, kind of those red or white and black bands. That is going to be different than a red-tail, where red tails will have kind of more of a mottled, different patterning on their chest. And that's kind of that perfect example of why we consider the goshawk that fighter jet, because they can take off and they look pretty ferocious.
Really neat, Peter. Thanks for coming in.
Appreciate it.
Good information about the goshawk. You can go to Walking Mountains website if you want to find out more about the goshawks or anything else that Walking Mountains has to offer. They're great programming year-round and so much more. We're going to be taking a quick break, then Ashley's going to give you a look at the weather and more of our show. We'll be right back.